it's the way that our girl Danielle decided to show up without picking up a bottle of self-respect at the local 7-Eleven before she showed her ass all over Mickey Mouse's town. Y'all, let's get into this title episode of Basketball Wives Orlando. Welcome back, y'all. So we are on episode 2 of Basketball Wives Orlando. So let's start it off, y'all, because this episode was kind of a little bit, a little flaky, a little dry, could use a little sauce. But anyway, we open up with our girl Ashley. She is continuing the relaunch of her clothing store, which was closed during the pandemic. She kind of started the store during the pandemic, but then, unfortunately, like a lot of businesses, she had to close due to regulations, and she's trying to relaunch her store. So she's also introducing some new lines of athletic wear into her clothing line, and she's at a photo shoot for the line. I honestly have to say, I really enjoyed this aspect of the show this season. I love seeing Ashley build her business back, especially because it's a unique storyline. Instead of just saying, I'm trying to start one to show somebody who's trying to come back from the pandemic after everything has taken place, so many businesses shuttered. So it was cute to see Ashley's running around. She's helping models. She's helping, talk about the photo shoot with the photographer. She's fitting people. She's doing all the things that Sheree never does. And Ashley says she's reopening after the pandemic, and she explains how hard it is to reopen a store. I mean, reopen. It was definitely giving me reopening the Pink. I was looking for Uncle Clifford, but he was nowhere in sight. However, Tony, her husband, showed up. And Tony is there to show his support. Ashley says one of the things that she does love about Tony is he's always supportive when it comes to any of her ventures that she wants to do, honey. And I think that support is so key. So often we hear about husbands, especially like celebrity husbands, who just always want their wife up underneath them, or they just want her to be a mother, and they don't really support the dreams as much. And a lot of the women will talk about how they've tried different ventures, and the husband will not really be there. But not only is Tony there, he's brought friends with him, and he seems to really support his wife. I like this aspect of their lives. So in our next little snippet, we show Mackenzie with her kids, and they're very, very, very adorable. She has a daughter and a son. I don't know their names. Let's just call them Apple and Scrapple, honey. I didn't write the names down, but we do know that they're with Dwayne Bacon. So I guess it goes together because it's like breakfast food. And Mackenzie is at home with her children, and she's sort of just talking about being a mom and how she loves her kids and how she's really supported by her parents a lot. Her dad is actually there, and her mom is not. But she's still having a good time talking about her father. She said he's a very active granddad, and it really helps that she has supportive parents. She also talks about how she looks at them for role models because her parents have been married for like 35 years or something like that. And that's been her value system for how she sees relationships. So it's very hard to like not be with the father of her kids or be married because that's how she always saw her parents. She even talks to her father a little bit about parenting and specifically about being married this long. When I tell you her daddy seemed the least interested I have ever seen anybody in my life, that man did not want to be on camera, and he did not want to be asked about her mama. But either way, he's sitting uncomfortably in a chair with his head to the side and honestly could not care. But she's asking him, just about how it feels to be married to mommy for all these years. I think he forgot he was married to that lady. And then he remembered, oh yeah, your mother. So they start having a conversation, and she's just talking about, how difficult it can be to co-parent in the situation that she's in. And then her father starts to ask her about a chicken farm. And specifically, she's like, oh, no, it's not me. It's the guy that I'm currently seeing. He owns a chicken farm. And, he's like the guy you're seeing. So it was clear that he was hearing this for the first time. And she basically states that, she is currently dating Rashad Vaughn. And, she doesn't like to talk about him with a lot of the different ladies because she feels like it's a lot of judgments that come along when you're dating somebody new and everybody wants to give you their opinion about how they feel. And she doesn't want that to infiltrate her relationship. She says that, people can be nosy and messy, and that's not something she wants to enter into a situation when it's new. And I completely understand that, especially when maybe that person's had a bitter ending with somebody else, or just when you're just trying to get to know somebody because y'all really just kind of in that honeymoon phase of getting to know each other. And it's like, let me find out for myself who this person really is instead of getting like their past, because everybody got a past, honey. Child, when I tell you this show was pieced together like a TikTok clip, it really was giving YouTube shorts. I don't understand the dynamic here. It didn't feel like a full storyline to me. While we did play out this dragged on story with Danielle, it just felt like we're just getting these little small clips into everybody's life. It doesn't feel like a fully realized show, and it's very annoying in that capacity. So now we're on a Morgan story. Morgan, of course, is the one that was married to, that's now divorced. We kind of left off, she's got the ex, Eric. Anyway, her daughter Iris is 12 years old, and she's having a birthday celebration for her. We kind of see her walking around her backyard, and she sort of set up this really large like playing area, and she's got like this whole cinema, girls doll, all kind of energy going on for her daughter. It was very, very, very cute. But she is a little sad and she's a little stressed because her ex Eric is just not an active dad, according to her, and because they're going through a custody battle and child support thing and stuff like that, it's really, really difficult for her because she feels like she has to take the full weight on, even though she didn't decide to become a single parent. They didn't divorce amicably, but it's still a situation where we have a kid together. We should learn how to come together for that reason. So she says, she got to do what she got to do on her part, and it is what it is now. But she does hate this for her daughter because it's such a uncomfortable experience to have to deal with that. But honey, she got the backyard set up. There's games, there's toys, there's inflatables. I thought she had gotten something from the fire sale at LaShonda and Rashonda place with all them inflatables, honey. I was like, who is paying an electricity bill for some of these blow-ups? Because ain't nobody here. But we know LaShonda wasn't paying the bill either. Morgan says that even if her ex is barely doing his part, she's going to always show out for her kids. And so even more than just like maybe having kids there, her family shows up. And, it was really, really cute. Honey, Carita is there. I love Morgan's mama, honey. She gonna show you a little bit of something sexy, even if she don't. When I tell you she had the chest on full display, honey, where was the pool party at? But Carita made sure she had her little bathing suit on, a little open, so you gonna see a little bit of the cleavage, honey. And the family appears to be like the people that are gonna pretty much show up to this thing. And then we start to see like some of the girls walk in. While they're doing that, there's like a little hibachi set up, and kids love the hibachi child. So they want to see flaming onion. And it's adorable. It gives, I'm trying my hardest as a parent to like make it happen for my kids and make them excited. And the daughter seems super, super happy. So I was really proud of her for pushing through with that because it can be very difficult. People don't understand the layers to birthday parties sometimes, especially for children. And it helps when you have a partner that is helping you to plan those things out, even if y'all are not together. So kudos to Morgan for doing that. But, not just the family, her friends start to show up, and that's really beautiful because they bring their kids. The first person to show up is Lindsay, and she comes to show her support, saying hi, and, Morgan and her hug, and then Danielle comes, Danielle is the only person we haven't been introduced to, honey. So Danielle is the one that was the last basketball wife that we had not met, who shows up this episode. So as we talked about last week, Danielle is the ex of Rashawn Bod. And I told you, I think in the last review, that she went to UNLV, which is University of Las Vegas, if people don't know. And that's how they kind of met. It was a little love and basketball story, honey. But Sanaa and Omar end up this way. So, Danielle is showing up, and really it's just her introduction to us to kind of, I guess, segue in her storyline. Danielle says that she met Morgan while both of their former partners were playing basketball, and that's how they kind of got cool. Danielle gets right to asking Morgan how things went with Ashley. When I tell you she jumped in immediately to see what the tea was, I appreciated that because we didn't need no long drawn out story. Morgan says Ashley is fake as hell and she's not owning up to chit chatting with her ex. And, Danielle can identify with that because, she has 2 kids with Rashawn. They were not married. They were just fiancés. But she has a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old with him. So that 2-year-old is fresh, honey. And so she says she completely understands how it would be really messed up for Ashley to be talking to her ex when they're going through a divorce proceeding and they're going through this custody proceeding. And how much pain this man has put me through. Why would you, if you're supposed to be my friend, be even chat with my ex? Anyway, Nika vibes, and the girls are finally sitting down having a full conversation. Morgan thanks Nick for bringing the kids because it's added somebody to it. Because at this point, I think her and her daughter and like 2 other people were playing in the pool. It was starting to get a little sad. But Nick comes with her son, and she also comes with Mackenzie and Dwayne's son, who she kind of is like a little bit of a co-parenting triangle with. Nick says she has no problem. She's just glad that Dwayne and Mackenzie allowed her to bring him. And Danielle proceeds to say like, Mackenzie who? And we kind of know she already knows who Mackenzie is, but she's just being messy. So because of this moment, she ends up saying, that Mackenzie is Dwayne's ex, who Nick, co-parents with because she is currently dating him. And Danielle says, I know because Mackenzie is currently dating my ex-fiance. And she says that she saw pictures online of her ex and Mackenzie, and she approached her ex about the situation, and he lied to her. And she knew something was going on with them because she saw pictures of them on like a boat and doing other things on Instagram. I'm like, why are you stalking this man's page? I don't know. It's one of those things where if you see your man posted up with a woman several different times and he's telling you it's nothing, but it's clear that they're in like romantic poses, girl, he's cheating. She says that she's, been hearing that Mackenzie's been saying that she's in love with him and they've only known each other for 3 months. So I don't know how you can love somebody. And I'm just trying to figure out, how is this your business? Y'all not together no more. And I'm just trying to figure out, why are you so wrapped up in somebody who ain't checking for you? And if he was checking for her, she'd be back in the house. So she clarifies that what she wants to do is get down to the timeline situation of when him and Mackenzie got together, because she feels like it's overlapping. And because of that, she feels like Mackenzie is, a homewrecker. She basically says that the entire time that Dwayne, um, well, no, that Rashad and her were together, or Mackenzie were together, she was still messing with Rashad. And so I'm just like, again, I don't know how this is a prideful thing. It just makes you look worse, because if you left this man, or if you and this man broke up and then he ended up messing with some other woman, and now you're saying that you and the other woman have overlapped in dating him or messing with him, like you were still sleeping with him when she was with him. And I don't understand, Mama, how this is helping you out in any capacity. It's not making either one of you look great if you knew about each other. If she didn't know about you and you knew about her, it's still giving you're hanging on to what? Because he sounds like trash. So Morgan says, well, if everybody is cool, and there is no issue with overlapping, would you be cool co-parenting with her? And Danielle says she's not open to co-parenting with anybody that does not have a ring, honey. And she's not co-parenting with no side B. And again, I don't understand, but it's also felt like a stray shot at Neek, because as we know, Neek does not have a ring. She is Dwayne's girlfriend, and she is co-parenting with Mackenzie. So I feel like this was like a low-key shot at Neek, because she's actually in that current situation with Mackenzie and Dwayne. Lindsay asked if she's gonna be okay with Mackenzie being in the circle, and Danielle says yes, because she's gonna be invisible. She can't be that invisible, Mama, because she's still in your mind. She's taking a space in your brain right now. There's rent. She's renting a space in your head, and you're allowing it. At this point, I just feel like this was just a press situation. It's a worse way to introduce yourself to a new show. If I was Danielle, I'd be embarrassed. So back on our For You page, we are introduced to Milan Henley, and she is shooting baskets in the gym. She's letting us know that she makes basketball content. I guess that's what she meant by basketball influencer, honey. Let me know. Drop down in the comments if you've been influenced by her. If you know anybody that has been. I actually thought this was really cool, just to see somebody doing something different, especially because people look for different types of content online, and a lot of people try to perfect their basketball skills. So I think it's kind of cool that we're getting her, getting something different from some of the girls about things that they do, and not the same old, same old. So Milan stated that she started playing basketball when she was 3 years old, and that she really wants to show girls that look like her that you can be multifaceted online. You don't have to just be like a booty model, or just be an Instagram girl, or just be a IG baddie, that you can have complexity to the content that you create. She says, she's come from like a tough situation, and like basketball is something that helps to calm her, and also content creation. So Mackenzie mentions that she is a one of 13 kids. Honey, mommy got 9 kids and daddy got 6. And that sounds like a small marching band to me. They grew up poor, and content creation really helps her to take her mind off of what she's been through, and also to, increase income for her, and it allows her to just escape a lot of the stuff that she had to grow up with early on. Like I said, it was really nice to see the behind the scenes, and I love that we got to see a different side of Milan, because we kind of got introduced to her very briefly in the first episode. So I like it that they're expanding on her story, and it's probably one of the most interesting storylines to me so far. I just really want them to stop giving us this Humans of New York perspective with her, and also that red diaper must go. So Ashley is now reintroducing us to let us know that she's a hardworking woman, honey, and apparently that happens at the couch. But she is letting us know that she is taking full advantage of being a basketball wife. I have to say, Ashley has been my favorite in terms of the aesthetic of a basketball wife, honey. She's taking full advantage of it. When I tell you there was 2 nannies, not one. I think somebody was a swim instructor, but she might double on the weekends. I feel like I love the way Ashley's like, hey, I got a store. We got this beautiful home. We got this lovely, decorated home. I'm eased and relaxing while I'm trying to work on my business. And I feel like this is something that is very normal and how it should operate when you have that kind of money. It's nice to be able to say, okay, I'm trying to run my business, but I still care about my kids and what's going on. I could use some help. I hate when they show like the struggling wife trying to pull it all together and she's trying to rouse the kids together and that man got money. Honey, if you don't go out here and get some help. So I love that Ashley's like, I'm taking full advantage of everything this life has to offer. And, she's working hard from the couch on her cell phone. She appears to have a cold. I don't know. Is it COVID? And she is just like talking to her kids a little bit, but she's on the phone going over like last minute business stuff in relationship to her upcoming relaunch. And so she's, talking about the website and she wants to make sure everything is up. All things that we should have seen Sheree doing last season. And she's like having this conversation. All of a sudden, she turns around and the kids are going out to the pool. And she's, talking to the person on the phone about like samples and different things about the shop. And then all of a sudden, we hear what essentially sounds like a tea kettle screaming. Somehow, Ashley thought it was her kid. And that made me wonder, did she spend even less time with her children? Because, girl, how you don't know the difference between your own child's scream and a tea kettle on the stove? They do not sound the same. So she goes and runs to the pool area and realizes, oh, it's not the kids, it's the tea kettle online. Ashley, I'm gonna need you to get some sleep because there's no way you can confuse those two noises. So Megan is meeting with Danielle at some outdoor cafe random. And Megan said that she's also invited Lindsay and Nikki Nicole. Honey, I need them to find some way to work Nikki into this series that feels more organic than this. I understand she's a friend to the show, but it's just giving pop-up energy. It's giving Nene walking around with Diana. I don't understand the flow of this situation. She just seems random at best. And it reminds me of, if you did watch Black Ink Chicago, when Nikki and oh boy, what's his name? Van's girl. I think her name was Jess or something like that. They were just popping up randomly on the show because they were getting jealous of the fact that the girls that were on the show were primary, characters on there, and they wanted to be seen more because they were the girlfriends. So they started popping up all season at random places, and it just started to feel weird. So I need them to find some organic way past like friend to the show because she's starting to look like Megan's security. Anyway, Megan says she's invited Lindsay and she really wants to talk to Lindsay because Lindsay was messy as hell when she was at the golf situation and basically exposed to Morgan, unbeknownst to Megan, that Megan had dated Morgan's husband a couple of times. And she said, even though they didn't sleep together, it was still messy as hell for Lindsay. And they just keep talking on, to each other while they're, waiting for Lindsay to show up. And Danielle says that she's really missing her kids while she's out here. She said that she and Rashad are counseling for their co-parenting right now, and it's very difficult being in Orlando because he has his new partner here, and it's just a weird experience for her. When I tell you Danielle is so hyped to show us everything that she's ever bought in her closet, it's giving chic me. And I didn't understand all these different outfit changes every single time. It just was, I didn't know what was going on. Mama, we know you used to have a budget. Megan, girl, why is this dress here? Now, I know y'all seen this yellow dress. And when I tell you the tatas are sitting out, the sides are sitting out, it didn't make a lot of sense what was going on with Megan's like dress during the confessional. It was just a weird look. So Megan tells Danielle that she knows from her, knows her. The reason that Lindsay even knew her information was because Mackenzie stepped to Morgan and let her know that she knew tea about her and Eric. And that's how Lindsay knew. And she comes up with this name for Mackenzie, like called Ratatouille. It never really hit for me. It just was kind of stupid. So Nikki eventually shows up and Megan repeats the story that she told Danielle to Nikki. And Nikki says this group is just very weird. Everybody seems to be with everybody's husband, honey. It's awkward for her. And then next, Lindsay pops onto the scene. So Lindsay pops up and she arrives and, Megan approaches her immediately and says, hey, girl, I feel like you were really messy when we were at the table during the golf situation. And I felt like it was making me really uncomfortable that you brought up this private situation so publicly in front of Morgan and everybody else at the wrong time. Lindsay tells us she didn't mean to make her feel uncomfortable. It wasn't her intention to make anybody feel weird. She just felt like we're going to be around each other, girl. We're going to break bread. I need this lady to know that you slept with her husband. And of course, Megan's like, I didn't sleep with him. I'm not some homewrecker, but it made me feel that way. And I did not like that. And of course, Lindsay again apologizes, saying that wasn't her intention. And Megan accepts her apology. I was bored because nobody threw a drink. At this point, I'm like, the episode's already going really slow. I need something to happen because it's just getting boring. Um, Danielle goes on to tell Megan that she thinks it's very good that she was being vulnerable. I don't know where she saw vulnerability. You telling somebody that you used to date their ex hardly is a vulnerable spot. It's more so just a heads up. That's the decency that you do as a person if you're going to be sitting with them for the entire season. I did not understand this scene as well. It was just weird. And it's also weird because it was possible that Megan might have been messing with him by the time while he was married. And Morgan already said that it came out during their divorce because so many other things did. Lindsay says that she's jealous that the girls get to drink and she can't wait to drop this baby honey because she want a lemon drop. At that point, some random squirrel jumps on the table and Danielle proceeds to say that the squirrel is Mackenzie. It was corny. Danielle's still giving press. Let's move on. So when I tell you it goes from worse to worse, so, next we're meeting up with Mackenzie and Morgan. They're sitting to have a chit chat because Mackenzie just wants to know if her and Morgan is still good after the golf situation because she felt like everybody kind of attacked her over the actions of Ashley and made her really feel uncomfortable. And she was shocked that Morgan was one of the people that kind of was like pushing so hard to go at Ashley. Morgan says that, they were friends and then, kind of befriended at the same time, Mackenzie, but Mackenzie, she feels like has sided with Ashley and is more so over there. Mackenzie's saying, like, girl, I ain't got no problem with you. We cool. But I felt like when I was there, it was kind of a gang up on Ashley, and I just didn't feel comfortable in that situation because honestly, I felt like they were directing it towards me and was. And I definitely feel like that needed to be addressed because they really were taking out the frustrations. Not everybody at the table, but they definitely were coming at Ashley, who was not there. And so she's like, well, you felt the need to defend her. And she really did not defend Ashley. All she said was that Ashley was not present. And it felt weird to keep talking about her. And specifically, it felt weird for them to sort of keep almost bringing the ire towards Mackenzie. It was like they were using her as an Ashley stand-in, honey. Like she was an Ashley dummy for that day. And all Mackenzie said was, hey, look, if y'all gonna talk about Ashley, do you mind if I just go to the bathroom? Or maybe I should leave the table while y'all kind of go through your gripe session about her and then I'll come back. And I think she was saying that because I think she was thinking like, hey, I would feel fake knowing they talking shit about you, come back to you and never tell you what's going on. So I'm not even there to hear it. It might be better. And I don't want to get into no situation defending her because me and this girl haven't known each other but so long, but I still feel uncomfortable with her not being here to defend herself. And it's also weird to me because when Morgan and Ashley got into the drama at the brunch, Neek made it very clear that she was cool with Ashley and Morgan, and she don't get in the middle of their stuff because she knows that she doesn't want to be on either side. So how come they also weren't directing that ire towards Neek? Because Mackenzie wasn't defending her. I also just found it weird that she said that she can't really mess with her because she felt like, even though they were building a friendship last summer, she feels like she sided with Ashley. Mackenzie said she doesn't feel like that. She thought that they were becoming cool. And she said because she feels like her loyalty switch, she can't really mess with her. But I thought it was interesting that Morgan was trying to push Mackenzie so far onto her side. I'm not an Ashley fan because I do think she's snaky, but I also find it interesting that Morgan wanted Mackenzie, who is new dealing with Ashley, to do the same thing that Ashley tried to force Milan to do, which was to side with her in the beginning. Remember when the last episode, when they were at the golf course, Milan was saying that how she got cool with Morgan was because when she first got cool with Morgan and Ashley kind of poisoned her mind about Morgan. So she didn't mess with Morgan. And it wasn't until later on she realized like this girl really wasn't her friend. And then of course she befriended an enemy of hers. But in the beginning, Milan was sticking hard with Ashley. So it's weird that Morgan wants Mackenzie to kind of take the approach that Milan didn't even take, and you cool with Milan still. Milan eventually came to like I guess the non-dark side, but girl, give this chance, a situation for, time for that situation to grow, I guess. So this situation ended up kind of being stupid. I'm not really sure where we landed, and honestly, it got dumber and dumber because again, Morgan just jumped to anger or hit the table in some way. Like it was just corny. It gives 12th grade energy, and I wasn't interested. Um, I mean, if you're gonna be a grown woman about it, be a grown woman about it, and sort of move on. So we head over to Milan's house, and if one thing Milan gonna do, honey, is gonna be filmed with her phone. So Milan is talking to her little sisters who were teenagers who recently just ran away to Miami and they crashed a rental car. And Milan is talking to her sisters about their behavior and why they shouldn't have did it, because when they crashed the car, they immediately called her to try to get them out of trouble. And we kind of get a little deeper into her story, and we realize that there's some mental illness stuff going on with her mom. And, as a result, the girls are not being watched after the way that they should. Mama got 9 kids, honey. If you subtract Milan from that situation, she might have 8 at the house. And so the girls just really aren't listening, and they're getting into like a lot of trouble. I thought it was a really interesting, take or spin for us rather to see this dynamic. So Milan basically says that, they need to start working on themselves, and she understands how hard it could be to be in a toxic environment, but they got to do better. You don't have to be, where you come from. And she knows that it can be very hard because their mom has really checked out, and she's doing it younger than what she did with Milan. And this really makes me want to learn her story a bit more. It was nice to see her pour so much positivity and, speak words into her sisters' lives about, being positive in their actions and being responsible in their actions and not getting into trouble. And she also offers to have them for the summer and asks them, do they really want to come over? And they say, yes, we want to do that. We're not doing anything here. We would love to be in a different environment, and it could really help us out. So this was a cute little segment. But I did forget to mention something, honey. The reason that, one of the reasons rather, that Milan's mom has checked out is because their brother was killed. And that's really been weighing on her so much. And now that the mental strain of that, and, possibly just raising these other children, is really one of the reasons that it's been so hard for her to be present for her kids, which is just, an awful thing to lose a child. So I did want to mention that. But honey, back at the reopening of Ashley's store, we walk in and we see Ashley getting ready, honey, and it's set up very, very cute. It's realistic for a boutique. The boutique is designed very cute, very nice. Real stock clothes with real receipts on them, honey, and real people selling clothes and realtors. It seems to be like maybe a soft opening. It's in like a large kind of outdoor shopping center or whatever. So it seems like to be some decent traffic. And, Ashley's stuff starts to flow in. She's got a bartender. She's got a DJ. She's got some people already there. And then, slowly people start to walk in. Looks like friends of other basketball players' wives and other people like that start to come and slowly trickle in. And, Mackenzie and Lindsay show up. It's a lot of, nice little support there. Her husband comes to show support, and he brings some other friends and their wives. And, Ashley speaks to everybody very professionally. She's mingling, sales are popping, people are flowing. And then we see Nikki Nicole and Megan walk in. And I'm not really sure how I feel about Nikki's outfit. Nikki's a beautiful girl, but it's definitely giving, Nikki's always been thick and stacked, but I didn't really want to see the back rolls. I didn't know what was going on there. Everybody's human and we all have, normal bodies, honey. I'm not saying she's got to be like snatched to the gods, but I just didn't love this outfit top piece. It was like, and they literally highlighted her back rolls on camera when they like, all with all the hugging. It was very, very, very weird. But, Ashley's, hugs Megan and she shakes Nikki's hand because this is her first time meeting Nikki. And Megan asks her, how's everything going? How's, what's happening? Ashley's like, it's going nice. We starting to make a little bit of sales and stuff like that. People are mingling. And she says, cool, cool, cool. She says, well, I just want to let you know, this is Nikki. She said, but I was told that I could invite several people. And I'm thinking to myself, who were you told that to? Because this is Ashley event. But then I thought about the fact that Ashley invited Patagonia without permission. So maybe that's how Megan felt. So she said, well, I did invite Danielle. And so Ashley's like, I didn't invite several people for a reason. She said, I did give you an invite and you're plus one, and that plus one is here. I did invite Mackenzie and she had a plus one, and, so on, but I didn't necessarily invite Danielle. She said, but look, she can come. I'm not going to stop her, because Megan was like, I'll call her and let her know. She's like, no, she can come. I don't have an issue with her, but does she have an issue here? And she points to Mackenzie, and Mackenzie goes, we good. As long as she don't, have no drama, no beef. I'm always willing to like work out or talk out anything with anybody. So, Ashley's like, cool. As long as she keep it professional, we ain't got no problem. And so Ashley stated earlier, she's just trying to keep the riffraff out the store, honey, and she don't want no drama. And I agree with Ashley on this. At the end of the day, your plus one was Nikki. I bought Periwinkle last time we even, so don't be bringing any extra, issues going on. So when I tell you more people started to trickle into the store, it's actively moving around. And I just feel like it was one of those moments where Megan goes, I know this was a messy situation, but I know that Danielle is not feeling Mackenzie because she's messing with her baby daddy. I thought that is a great way for them to talk it out. Megan, to talk what out? At a professional opening for a store, it's very much given Shawnee called you and was like, girl, if you don't get a fight happening by this week, you will be going home by episode 5. All right, so here come Danielle, bopping up the street, and outfit change number 18, honey. And she's letting us know that she's going to show us everything that she ever took when she left Rashad. And she's walking up the street, super happy, and she's walking to the salon. And I mean, not the salon, the store. And as she kind of comes to the store, we see Megan go outside to greet her. And Megan lets her know, like, look, girl, everything in there is going well. It's a professional event. Everything is positive. Mackenzie is in there. She's willing to talk. But, let's keep it professional because it's not anything that needs to, be weird. So Danielle says, cool. She walks in. She sees a lady sitting down, having a chit chat. Mackenzie is talking with Nikki on one side. Lindsay is talking on another side. And Megan introduces in Danielle to Ashley. Ashley is sitting down because she was talking to Lindsay. She gets up and says, girl, let me get up. She says, hi, my name is Ashley. I own the store. Welcome. She said, it's nice meeting you. She said, go ahead and grab some champagne, grab something to eat. If you have any questions about anything in the store, let me know and I can help you. And Danielle says, okay, cool. I'll look around. Everything seems to be going well. But Mackenzie says that she feels on edge because she feels like the last time she saw Danielle was DMing her about being on vacation with the ex-husband. And at that point they were dating. I don't know. I feel like it was still a little bit of harmony, but I didn't know when it was going to change. People in the store kind of checking out to look around, honey, because they're waiting for a scene to pop off. So then all of a sudden we get a view of Milan coming into the store, and she just brought really fantastic energy. Milan is bubbly, and I was also really shocked that she came because she hasn't seen Ashley in like a year. At least that's what she told us when they played golf. She walks in and she compliments the space, and she says, is this the same space that we were at before? I feel like this is a different spot. Ashley says, no, girl, it's the same spot. Since the pandemic, I remodeled and everything like that, and this is just the reopening. So the energy is fine, it's nice, everybody's pleasant. Milan is like, look, let me go get a drink. But we also peeped that paranoia is on the side, so I guess she decided to show up as the backup to Ashley, like Nikki be showing up like a security guard for Megan. And it was like, okay, this is gonna pop off. I mean, let it happen. So Danielle thanks Ashley for inviting her to the store, and she says that even though she's friends with Morgan, she wants to formulate her own opinion about Ashley for herself, which I found interesting because they were trying to do the opposite to Mackenzie at the restaurant. So now it's okay for somebody to formulate their own opinion about Ashley, but Mackenzie needs to hate her right away because the whole table did. It's giving hypocrisy. And Ashley says, thank you. I appreciate you giving me that chance. So despite their feelings about Ashley, and now not getting burned, I thought it was okay that Danielle said that, but I really didn't believe how she completely felt. And it didn't take Danielle too long to pop off. We know why she was here. She was not here for any like random reason. So Megan's like, this not moving fast enough. So she basically says, hey girl, did you meet Mackenzie? Y'all need to talk. And Danielle is like, I ain't got nothing to say to her. I ain't talking to no side bitch. So Mackenzie's like, he told me you were going to call me that. And she says, I'm glad that he told you that. He should have warned you. And Mackenzie says to Ashley, like, Mackenzie says to Ashley, girl, save me in your phone as side bitch. When I said, she said, save me in your phone like side bitch, I literally was cracking up. That was hilarious. So it was going back and forth with her and Danielle, and she's just saying, like, I knew you were going to be rude and you're going to show up to this girl's store and cause drama. It's just giving weird. It's also giving weird because why are you going so hard for the relationship with this man that has not moved you back into his home, girl? Like, literally, be embarrassed. Like, how dare you be fighting over somebody that's not chasing you down the street? Like, this man is not fighting for you to be back together, whether or not you're saying that. You went from fiance to being a phone bae if your concern is that he hits you up in the DMs and you talk to him every day. Y'all have kids together. If you need to talk to him every day and he's telling you he wants you back, he's not acting like that because he's so actively hanging out with this other woman. So it's just giving desperado energy, and it's like, have some pride. It's just weird. So then she kind of tells her, like, hey girl, do you want, so they go to commercial, they come back, and Danielle and Mackenzie are still in a fight. And so, Mackenzie's like, I'm not a home wrecker. I wasn't dating anybody. And Danielle's like, do you want the receipts, baby girl? So I need to give you the receipts. I can show you, that you have like a DMs with him. I can show you receipts. I can show you, he calls me all the time, RV, 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 trying to show like Rashad Vaughn. It's like, girl, but who cares? He didn't choose you. And he's not even completely like they're so new. All of this for a man that is not in any capacity showing you as his wife. You are an ex-fiance. He didn't even marry you. And he's not even married to her. So you giving her all this ire for what? So she's basically saying that she doesn't like the fact that they're overlapping and that, she was with Rashad when she was with them. But then it's like you kind of are saying that you agree with what Mackenzie said to Neek, which was that Dwayne was probably playing both of them at that point, and she didn't know that, Neek and him were messing around the time that him and Mackenzie were kind of coming off of their thing. So even Mackenzie ended up saying, look, at the end of the day, he was probably lying to both of us. And they seem to be moving forward trying to co-parent, at least for right now. So it's just like, why are you so pressed about this? Danielle's still not giving it up. She's still making all these comments about how, Mackenzie is foul and, you're messy and that's why I'm calling you a beeline. And I can go down the timeline of everything that's in there. And she's like, if you're not going to have accountability, then I don't even want to deal with you. And then she says that you're basically doing to me what happened to you with Neek. And she's saying that Mackenzie, admitted that Dwayne was probably lying to Neek. It just got really, really, really weird. She was so unhappy. She says she loves the girls and she would never mess with a married man. They're arguing. It gets dumb. Did Monica do this in Love and Basketball, or did she just show up to the prom with Spalding? I feel like Danielle could have just been flyer in the moment that she was in. And it just got dumber and dumber. And at the end of the day, he's not doing this for you, girl, with no man. So what was the point of this? So Danielle leaves on her swan song and basically says that Mackenzie's not going to bully her out of this man's life that she's been in for 8 years. And it's like, girl, she didn't bully you out of his life. He kicked you out of it. Y'all not together no more. It's not running through the mind, mama. The elevator is not going to the top of the floor. So she heads on over to Morgan's house, and child, we was not waiting for this to happen. She heads on over to Morgan's house, and her and Morgan have a little powwow. Why Morgan got the same home sign that my mama got? Anyway, a good little TJ Maxx home goods spot will always hit you up with the good stuff all over the house, honey. And, Morgan is sad, kind of bitter too. It works together. It was very much given, I know there are no guarantees. In love, you take your chances. But somehow it seems unfair to me. I could not sing. It was just given not gonna cry. I did not know where we were with this waiting to exhale moment. And I have to honestly say it was just corny. So Danielle comes in and she basically tells Morgan that she told her off and called her a side B. And, they go back and forth about the fact that they've both been hurt by these men. And Danielle tells the story about how she followed Rashad overseas and how she gave up so much for this man. She had a master's degree. She had a baby for him. She gave up her dreams. She was playing basketball too. Girl, were you going into the WNBA? Were you going to be Angel Reese or not? Because if you weren't, why are we hearing the story? So she says that she left there. She went overseas. She risked it all for love. And she ended up even having their baby overseas because she wanted Rashad to be present for the child. And she almost lost her life because I guess, maybe the hospital's over there or whatever. And, she starts crying. And of course, Morgan is there for her and just saying that she really is so hurt because, as she's fighting through this situation with Eric, she just really needed the support of her friends. And she just never thought Ashley would turn her back on her and be communicating with her significant other during this moment. Now, I have to say that even though I felt bad for Danielle, I really feel like Morgan's story was more empathetic to me because you could tell that she's just fighting through the idea of having to fight him over stuff. I think she's over her and Eric not being together. I don't think that's an issue. What I think is really hurting her is the fact that he's using their kids in this moment and that she just wants a positive co-parenting situation. And being in a custody battle with somebody and a co-parenting battle with somebody has got to be extremely treacherous on your heart because you want, if anything, to come out of the darkness of your divorce, the separation, would be your kids to be okay. And that seems to be what Morgan's really hurt about. And the fact that when you are in that moment, especially when you're with somebody who's a higher earner than you, and you're fighting through that situation where you're not the higher earner, where you're either fighting for money or child support, it can be very difficult fighting that battle solo. And even though she has her family, having the support of other women probably would have been helpful, especially somebody like Ashley, who they seem to be really, really tight. And to think that that woman could either be possibly informing her spouse of things or just not on her side is hurtful. In this moment, I understood Morgan even more with her anger towards Ashley. I just want her to find a way to kind of get around that, because I think her story is more than just this. But I do identify with the idea of, I think, her just being hurt over the fact that let's just be amicable for the kids. I identify with it personally, just, I understand and empathize with her on the situation. So, they kind of just keep crying over the situation. And she says that she hates that sometimes people consider her to be bitter because it really ain't about Eric. But when she sees her children hurt, when she sees the pain from them, that's when it really hits her hard. And in that moment, I really felt, really, really bad for Morgan. She says her daughter's in therapy 3 days a week and it's hard. And she just really feels like loyalty was something that she didn't think would go away in those moments. And while I understand where Morgan is coming from, honey, you can't bully nobody into loyalty. It is what it is. Like her and Danielle said at the end, the people who, this is when you find out who your true friends are, when you're at your deepest and darkest moments, who really has your back and who was just along for the ride. So I hope that they identify that and we don't keep focusing on this Eric and Mackenzie story and this Danielle and the ex that don't still want you story, because it's not giving smart, ambitious, I'm moving on energy. It's very much giving me, I'm still stuck in the pain. I would love to see more about Morgan's beauty business. And I want to know what the hell Danielle is doing besides checking her phone to see if Rashad is still texting her. Y'all let me know what you think of this episode. This is all I got to give because this is all the episode gave. Y'all have a good night, and I will check y'all next time.